He spoke to the Communications Minister, Mitch Fifield, straight after his media conference confirming that the satellite was in orbit. Well, Minister, congratulations on the launch. To borrow your phrase, Thunderbirds are go. The rocket has launched. And what's the explanation given to you? Was it a textbook performance?
Well, everyone associated with the satellite launch is breathing a sigh of relief while the risks were low because this is a space venture. There are always some risks, so there's still a bit of work to do. The satellite has to move into orbit. There's a fair bit of technical work that needs to occur before Australians in regional and remote areas can start to receive fast broadband services in the first half of next year.
Now let's talk about those services and the speeds being offered. I think the phrase used is up to 25 megabits per second. Is that as good as it gets, and how many customers will actually get that at a guaranteed speed?
Well, it's up to 25 megabits per second because there will no doubt be a range of product offerings that may be at different speeds. But there's the capacity to have 400,000 Australians and businesses in remote and regional areas and also Australian offshore territories to be connected to the NBN. This is a dramatic and significant improvement on the broadband speeds which are currently available, and importantly it will mean that there are many Australians who will have greater choice in terms of where to live and where they want to do their business.
But will that theoretical speed up to 25 megabits per second fall away the more customers are connected? You're saying up to 400,000. Is it still possible to get those speeds as the customer numbers expand?
Well, obviously, with the satellite, it has a finite capacity, so it's important for NBN Co to manage that capacity. So there'll be differential pricing for people who have high volume needs to ensure that there is capacity for people who want to use the NBN in an everyday sense. And that's particularly important to make sure that we maintain capacity for public interest uses such as long distance education, e-health. So it's a management exercise to make sure that there's fair use, and my department and NBN will be putting a lot of work into ensuring that we have a good fair use policy.
Now, one of the risk management procedures in this is, I suppose, making sure that you're not overrun by technological developments. Has anyone done an assessment of other work being done by people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Google's Project Loon, which all involve trying to give global coverage for the internet in remote places? Is there a possibility that those technologies could overrun a fixed asset like this satellite that went up today?
Well, technology is always moving, and we can't predict with any great specificity where technology will lead and what will be the new breakthroughs of the future. But that's not a reason not to seek to roll out fast broadband now. As I say, it'll be getting out 6 to 8 years earlier, but one of the positives here in relation to the point you raise is the NBN is technology agnostic. The NBN is open to learning and adapting and doing things in different ways. But look, I'm sure that there will always be the need for that satellite capacity that we have.
So on the earthly NBN, you're saying that you're technology agnostic. Does that mean that the finished product may not be very much like the original model outlined by Malcolm Turnbull, which was fibre to the node and copper wires from there through to the premise? Because there are many suggestions now that the rollout will push a lot more fibre out to the premise than originally anticipated.
Well, because the NBN is technology agnostic, the proportions of the rollout, which are achieved through different technologies, may change over time. may change in response to demand, may change in response to technological advances, may change in response to what people are prepared to pay for. So these are all variables, and the NBN will adapt accordingly.
All right. Mitch Fifield, congratulations again on a milestone for the project, and we'll talk to you about portfolio matters again in the future, I'm sure.
Look forward to it, Greg.
Well.